What up, fams? I'm Frank, and I'm too big to fake it.
And I'm Neum, and I'm ready to send it all day, every day.
All day, every day. Welcome to Faith and Flamez, where we talk story.
Share insights that no one asked for.
And as always,
Eat some tasty food.
Oh, man. Cannot wait for today, man. It's been a long week. Hey, but before we talk about, what's, on the ground, before we fire that bad boy up, it's probably a good time to have a little bit of a reflection, on last week's podcast. Man, we talked about some really amazing things, about those who paved the way for us. Massive, wide pavements, Talking about those things and, how they built up, access for us to be able to enjoy the things that we enjoy today. Looking back at last week, what were some of your takeaways from our conversation last week?
Yeah, I guess the takeaways this time, not KFC. One of my takeaways were around how much my parents have actually done for me and reflecting on how they've paved the way, like the specific things. Wow. And from that, it kind of put me in the space of like an attitude of gratitude because I'm now at that place where I have to build for my children and that gives me a roadmap when I kind of get lost on how do I deal with this? My kids are playing up. How did my mum and dad deal with me when I was playing up? Mine are some things that you can't do anymore.
What's that, the fushball? If you know, you know. Hey.
But yeah, what about you, cuz? What did you take away?
Oh. Well, it's probably obvious, but man, I love my new white shirt. Thank you, cuz. Man, I did the top collar too, fire out, so it looks a little bit, But other than this white shirt, thank you so much, cuz. Man, I really appreciated some of the things that you spoke about with your parents, especially, in particular with your father and the service that he, rendered to others. I think one of my favorite things you said, was when he went out to mow people's lawns who were old, but he was older, it's like, far out, the service of this man. So that was one thing that, really, I guess, lifted my spirits. And something that I want to implement. But then also something that, I mentioned and looking back on it is, the two words that I kind of aligned with my mum, which was, persistence and consistency. Just having that grit, that the ability to just continue, even though, the pathway is hard, to continue to do that. And then just being consistent with your routines. And those are kind of things that, I look at, my mum and looking at our conversation that we had last week, and those are things that I really want to, try my best to implement this year. So if we're looking at, the pathway that's been paved for us, it's always, there's never a good way to bring this up. I'm just honest, I'm just curious, cuz what's on the menu today?
So today, we're about to change the game.
Whoa. Oh.
So we love our steak, but Mary had a little lamb.
Oh, his fleece is white as snow.
It was, but now it's going to feed the bro.
Damn.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a marinade for that bad boy.
Marinade?
Yeah, marinade? Serenade? Marinade.
Mayonnaise? Oh.
So we got that rosemary, mint, olive oil, balsamic vinegar.
Wow.
Actually, it took me a while. I had to learn how to say that word for the podcast. And as always, salt and pepper on that bad boy.
Now, honest, cuz that sounds incredible. The marinade sounds delicious. I reckon, shall we jump into the kitchen, get ready?
Oh, yeah, no, let's prep.
Let's go. Oh man, cuz have you ever been in that perfect temperature water and you soak in it and your body just goes,
Ooh.
Hey,
No.
Do you want me to do that again?
Yeah. Can you do it one more time?
That's what I like when I'm picturing that lamb. That's what it was doing in that marinade.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's marinated. We got a little bit of time to, I guess, marinate over this week's topic. Cuz you wanna spit some, lyrics in regards to what we're talking about.
Being February, we look at different things like January is the month of New Year's resolutions. Like we said, bang, hiss and a roar, and then maybe you fizzle out at the end of January.
Yeah.
And so this is where we want to talk about progression over perfection.
Wow. Because those two men, like, you know, they're almost like opposites of each other, or they're very similar to each other, you know. They, in some essence, they can work for each other, but also oppose each other.
Yeah, no, because I totally agree, because sometimes if you're focusing on perfection, you actually don't do anything, so there's actually no progress. Oh, when I have to organise something, and I'm thinking, cool, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. Oh, heck. And I've got to do it perfectly. I actually do nothing. And I remember someone calling it paralysis by analysis.
Whoa.
Because you're analysing everything, you're wanting it to be perfect, you actually do nothing.
Yeah.
So there's no progression, but progression is like dipping those beautiful lamb chops in that marinade and actually letting them sit there and progress to be able to be put on that bad boy and come to that point. Yum.
In my profession, I see it all the time, especially when I'm working with, you know, the students in my class. You get them to ask, you know, you ask them to write a story, and kids will stop at a word because they don't know how to spell it, you know, or they don't want to write because they're scared of spelling, they don't know how to, you know, structure sentences and stuff, you know. And for me as a teacher, like, one of my main goals is, hey, don't let that stop you. That's not a spelling test, it's a story writing time, you know. Just write, however, sound out the words, just go for it. And so, you know, that perfection of wanting spelling to be, you know, absolutely perfect hinders their progression, because, you know, when they're not writing and they're too scared to write, they're not learning anything and any principles and stuff. So I love that we're getting, you know, the opportunity to speak about, you know, progression versus perfection. Do you think it's time to cook these, like, lamb chops? Because surely there's, you know, enough marinating on that.
With that, cuz we're actually flipping the script even more.
Oh, really?
So we know we love our coals and cooking outside like that.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to hit that hot plate and sizzle those bad boys, making that beautiful white noise.
How does it go again, cuz? Yes.
Yeah, we're about to take that sizzle score all the way to 10.
Oh, man. Let's do it, man. Shucks. I don't know about you guys, but holy moly. My stomach's already talking to me. It's like, did you say steak? No. Man, you know, I can't wait, man. Cuz, is that us?
Yeah, cook it up.
Let's go! Man, honestly, cuz, you know that sound, and that smell, it's like, there's no other word to explain it for me, but it's hypnotic.
Ooh, hypnotic.
Those lamb chops, you can tell, are now on their way to perfection. They're progressing. So thinking about our topic today, and, you know, thinking about, you know, progression versus perfection, because, you know, what instances in your experiences, in your life experiences, you know, have you, I guess, seen these two forces play out?
When you go through this life thinking that you have to be perfect, when you make mistakes, you feel like you can no longer progress.
Yeah.
You have to stop or you go backwards. I was in this Zoom meeting and there was a person that was talking. There was a whole group of us and there was a person talking and we had to give reports. And so my report was on the Pacifica people. Yeah. And the person before me starts talking away, and then starts giving a report on the Pacifica people. And I'm like, where are you from? So, like, what is your position? What is your lane? And I'm thinking, okay, cool. So I gave my report, and then, you know, as you do, you go to mute the Zoom, and I'm sitting there. And so I'm talking with my teeth, you know?
Yeah.
Try not to move my lips so they can't see, even though I'm muted. And it's like, oh, I'm sick of this lady. Oh, she always puts her nose in where she doesn't need it. Yeah. Like, what's your... And then as I started going, and I was just sending rekas.
Yeah.
And then I see the faces of some of the people on the Zoom going, oh. And then out of nowhere, the little mute icon pops up on my little square. I wasn't muted. They heard everything. And just the shame, felt so guilty, so bad. So I shut my laptop and I threw it away. And just, I was like, I quit. I don't want to be a part of any of that, even though this course is amazing. I'm done. And then had a discussion with my wife, and she's like, you need to deal with this. You need to actually front up. And I'm like, no, because it's going to get worse. And I'm going to get blasted, because that's what I got taught.
Yeah.
When you do something wrong, you get blasted. And no one tells you kind of what you should be doing. And so I ended up sending an email to the whole team, just outlining things and just apologized. And then I got some emails back. I opened the first one, kindness.
Wow.
Opened the second one, we know who you are, we know your heart, we all have moments. And then the last one was the person I was actually talking about. I know your heart is always in the right place. I took a breath, was so grateful, but then it helped me understand I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be learning and progressing. And with these people, when I came forward, they had my back.
Yeah.
And now, today, if I had not come forward, if I had cut it off at the knees, then I never would have grown those friendships. We never would have done the work that we've done in the last, 4 years. And we wouldn't be able to have grown to where we are.
That's incredible, cuz obviously there would have been when you threw your laptop away, was there immediate feelings of shame and guilt?
Shame, guilt, frustration, anger, everything. And even though I didn't know how they felt, I was feeling that on their behalf, because I thought that's how everyone is supposed to feel when you do something wrong.
Yeah.
But that's just something that kind of came to mind when we were bringing up this topic.
You know what's funny is, because this is how I know we're family, because I've been through something real similar.
Oh.
In my place of work at the time, I was working for, a pretty reputable brand, and I was working in their warehouse. I had been promoted to work as a customer service representative at this particular brand, and I was doing a really good job, and I always had I'm a really loyal person, and I loyalty is probably one of the attributes that it's amazing, but it can also be a fault. And this is one of those instances, and there was an issue that happened, and a particular person was putting blame on the warehouse, and I knew it wasn't the warehouse's fault, because I've come from there, and I chimed in, and I sent an email, and I was like, hey, just relax, it's all, this is okay, we'll be able to sort it on this end, just leave it, and it smoothed the waters. But because I wanted to show, my loyalty, I sent an email back to the manager of the warehouse, and I was like, don't even worry. I said something along the lines of, don't even worry about this old bet. I've got her covered, and I'm just saying things to get her off us, and I pushed send, and then I went to lunch, and I came back from lunch, and I had this email back, and it was from the lady, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Clicked on the email, and she had replied to my email that I thought I had only sent to the warehouse manager. What I didn't realize is I had push reply all.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
And so, just like you, and I guess that's a real, Polynesian thing is, when we feel shame, we feel shame, it becomes a part of us, we embody it,
Yeah.
And all I remember, man, is I just felt disgusting. I felt worthless. I was like, man, I was so embarrassed. Because, one of the first things you do is you start to reflect on, they probably think that my family raised me like this. And, you take it back to that. I'm so, my mom's going to be so disappointed. I kind of had this feeling of, I need to sort this out. Because, again, it's a part of the progression, I sought her out, and I went and looked for her. I booked a room, and I asked if I could meet with her, and I just straight apologized. One of the hardest things I've had to do, when you have to stand up to the things that you've done wrong. Man, thinking about it, I still feel yucky. But I apologized, and I said, look, I'm a loyal person, and I understand what I did wasn't right. And you know what, man, I got the same, very similar response to how the people responded to you. She responded with kindness and love, she was like, look, you've made a mistake and that's absolutely fine. It's not very professional, but this is how you learn to be professional. And she said, it's obvious that we don't know the systems at this warehouse like we think we do. So, she was,
Whoa.
She spun it so it was like a learning for both of us.
That's crazy.
And I was like, you could have just, told me to go somewhere and put the, sun where the sun doesn't shine kind of stuff,
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, she really taught me how to be professional and to be a leader. And so, those are some of the things that I picked up from her that have helped me progress in the industry that I'm in now. Because I've used those principles that she taught me that, failure, it's a part of progression, and you're going to get it wrong. And, failure doesn't mean you're never going to be able to attain perfection. Rather, it's a part of the process, and it's a part of the progression towards perfection.
It's amazing how you had that interaction with her, you had that experience with her, because you were ready to front up.
It's amazing how others, they build you up. They come with kindness. Not everyone, because, obviously, people are different. But it's amazing that in our experiences, and I loved how, you, without prompts, or asking, they responded to you with love. And what a huge thing you had to do too to be able to send that email out. But there would have been no ChatGPT for that, no Gemini, no AI for you to go and, help you write this. It would have come straight from the fatu. So,
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I love it because we've been in a position of shame and failure, and we've been able to progress through. But it's also nice sitting here thinking about the other view of perspectives when you see someone fail, how we should respond to them.
I'm going to chuck another one in here. Gandhi. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Wow.
Don't wait for anyone else to be that change.
Yeah.
If you're wanting something, if you're identifying something that needs a bit of change or a bit of a shake up.
Whoa. How did you do it? Shake.
A bit of a shake up.
Yeah.
Then go do it.
Yeah.
But again, do it progressively rather than to hit perfection. So, because from the experience that you've shared, you talked about, like you've used it in your life now.
So one of the huge things that I learned is, if you make a mistake, own up to it, regardless of how bad it is. And acknowledging it. Sometimes acknowledging it means you feel the shame, and you feel it, but you don't let it, take over. I've been great at doing that professionally and in other areas, but when I fail in my weight loss, it's easy for me to just fall back and just be like, I'm just gonna, I ate after 8 p.m. Oh, that's it. I'm gonna go get me a Big Mac combo now because, if I've bricked the bank now, I'm gonna smash the bank.
What bank?
I'm gonna just go hundies. And so for me, that's one thing that I'm getting so much better at, and I've seen this year is I've made a mistake. But I'm acknowledging it, and I'm doing my best to be better, to help me progress on to the next step, and moving forward towards perfection.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like.
I think this is a good way to move into this part where I guess we're talking about January's finished. We had those New Year's resolutions, but it doesn't mean it has to stop there, even if we didn't do January the way that we wanted to.
Yeah.
We've still got February all the way to December. Throughout January, we made mistakes. I failed. I put on so many kgs, but there were moments that I freaking won the day.
And those are the ones to look at, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. I love that so much, cuz. It's brilliant because it just brings it back, like you said, brings it back from, being out in the ether to being personal, and being about yourself. And making sure you're modifying those things and applying those things to make sure that you're succeeding and you're progressing, and that will look different for everyone else. But, the principle of progression and doing things that you need to lead to eventually getting to whatever perfection looks like.
Yeah, that's the one.
Speaking of which, cuz, should we play it up? And
Yeah, I think it's time, man. I think it's time to set the table and to get this done.
thank you, cuz. Oh my gosh, cuz. Oh, look at the mountain of chops here.
That's a bad boy. Look at that one right there. Actually, don't look at it.
Bags to have that one. Oh, man, this looks incredible, cuz. The juices, you know, wait. Oh.
But that was a one-off. Look at it.
Oh, sorry. But, like, this is, you know, what progression to perfection looks like.
Oh,
you know,
there it is.
although these look incredible, cuz what I'm more grateful today in particular is, man, having, you know, this Talanoa with you, man. It's been amazing. You know, I've taken away so much, you know, and it's nice to, you know, speak openly about failing and, you know, the shame that comes with it, but not dwelling on it, and how that we can use those to lead to progression. Love that, man. Thank you so much, cuz.
Nah, I appreciate being there. And like you said, going through the processes, because, you know, we knew what the topic was, but we didn't really understand like how it was going to turn out. We had hope.
Yeah.
And we saw this kind of thing that looked like perfection, but to be able to go through the process and actually marinating it, going into cooking it, same kind of thing with the food and our discussions. And I'm grateful to know too, like when I shared my bit, I was like, oh, yeah, because that shame was there.
Yeah.
That shame which was going to stop me from sharing.
Yeah.
But I know that when I did that and you shared your part, I was like, oh man, actually, yeah. I didn't think about the takeaways and the learnings that came from that experience. Now, like, they just come flooding through my mind, like the different types of ways I'm going to smash that lamb. So many different ways flooding through my mind. But now I'm able to go, okay, cool. This happened. Since then, yeah, this happened. So I really appreciate that, cuz.
Yeah, thank you. You know, and I guess today's topic, you know, really has inspired me to just bring up the fact that it's Valentine's Day this weekend, cuz.
Oh.
So, you know, we can fail at many things, but don't fail that one.
All right, put that down.
Hey,
it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So, you know, just grateful again, and grateful for you guys, and, you know, watching and supporting, man. We've been loving the comments.
Yo.
And there've been some pretty out the gate ones.
Yeah, some interesting ones. We've got some interesting ones.
Yeah. And we really appreciate you guys supporting the podcast and pulling up a chair, you know, and joining us. This mountain here, you know, there's heaps, and I'll be sure to eat on your behalf.
So just for everyone listening, everyone watching, as we've shared today, the mistakes that we've made and coming forth with those things, putting aside perfection, looking at what are the steps of progression, you know, we just invite you to do the same. Invite you to look at some of the things that you're trying to make perfect that haven't actually gone anywhere. Maybe just try one thing, try two things. And the other part, man, if there was something that came to mind when we talked about things that, we did wrong and we didn't want to tell anyone, man, give it a blast. Actually share it with someone or try to rectify it, man.
Definitely. Hey, because, you know, this space over here, it's a bit tight, but it's safe. It's a safe space. And so, you know, would love for you guys to share that with us. And, you know, I always am a firm believer, and I'm sure, you know, I can speak on Neum's behalf for this, but, you know, it's we learn from each other, you know, and the learning is reciprocated, you know. Like, there'll be things that you learn from us, I'm sure, because you've mentioned to us in the comments, but there's things that we love and learn from you guys too when you leave those comments. So we just appreciate you guys for doing that, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And don't forget, fam, we're also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If you want to see us smash this food, we'll be posting it up on there. And also, we'll be reading out some comments. As Frank said, we're real grateful for you guys interacting with us, sharing our stories on our comments, our DMs, and even the emails. Yeah, you know, the ones that got sent. We really appreciate those too.
Yeah, we do. We really, really do. But, you know, without further ado, because we've worked hard, you know, it's time for us to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Hey, I'm Frank.
And I'm Neum.
And this is Faith and Flamez.